Just when we thought JD Vance couldn't plunge Trump's campaign any deeper into losing territory, he proved us all wrong by bombing 2 rallies in a row. And to give you a glimpse into how bad they were, here was Vance this afternoon getting booed by a firefighters group in Boston, and just a heads up, this is very satisfying to listen to.
Semper Fi, guys. Sounds like we got some fans and some haters. That's okay.
Yikes. By the way, calling them haters won't help you win them over, JD. People skills, maybe try learning them. So before we go back to Boston, here is where the race stands. According to Thursday's Reuters and Ipsos poll, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are leading Trump and Vance by 45% to 41%, which must be why JD Vance couldn't help but express how frustrated he was at being on the losing ticket. Here he was telling Kamala Harris to go to hell at yesterday's rally in Pennsylvania.
Kamala Harris is so asleep at the wheel that she won't even do an investigation into what happened, and she wants to yell at Donald Trump because he showed up. She can go to hell.
I can almost feel his unfavorability rating dropping amongst women, especially among veterans, after Vance shockingly confirmed the reporting that Donald Trump's campaign harassed a female worker at Arlington National Cemetery, but instead of apologizing for it, Vance goes on to blame the media.
Well, I think, first of all, the altercation at Arlington Cemetery is the media creating a story where I really don't think that there is one.
Oh, there is one, JD. The fact is, 2 members of Trump's campaign verbally abused and pushed a female cemetery worker who tried to prevent them from taking a photo at a gravesite where recent fallen soldiers had been buried, which the childless cat lady hater desperately then tried to deny, but it seemed the cat was already out of the bag, so he decided to change his story and claim that Trump was only trying to provide emotional support to the fallen soldiers whose graves he was standing on.
You guys in the media, you're acting like Donald Trump filmed a TV commercial at a gravesite. He was there providing emotional support to a lot of brave Americans who lost loved ones they never should have lost.
First of all, it was, in fact, a commercial for the Trump campaign. Instead of complying with Arlington National Cemetery's rules, the Trump campaign proceeded to turn a veteran graveyard into a political event, disgracing every single man and woman who has ever served this country. And I'm sorry, but the man who called fallen soldiers suckers and losers was not providing emotional support for them. He was exploiting their deaths and service for political gain. Remember, this is the draft dodger who mocked Gold Star families, who degraded the late John McCain, a Purple Heart recipient, for being captured at war, and an anti-veteran thug who vows to cut veterans' benefit programs with his and Vance's Project 2025. So yeah, Vance did not do Trump any favors in Pennsylvania. In fact, it seems more and more voters aren't falling for the MAGA propaganda anymore. At this morning's rally in Boston, here is Vance getting booed once again when he tries to convince the crowd that he and Trump are the most pro-worker ticket in American history.
President Trump and I are proud to be the most pro-worker Republican ticket in history, and I want to talk about why we're fighting for working people, why we're going to fight for unions and non-union alike.
Yelling it louder won't change their minds, JD. Again, gotta learn those people skills, but it seems JD is incapable of learning people skills, as was proven by him nervously stumbling through one of the cringiest jokes of his career.
At the Republican convention, we were featuring everyday American workers, and of course, we had Hulk Hogan. And while it's tempting, and I'm sure it would make some big headlines, don't worry, everybody, I'm not going to try to take off my shirt here.
I don't think anybody was worried about that until you brought it up, weirdo. Did you guys hear the stuttering, the stammering, and the struggle JD went through just to deliver that punchline? The guy is rattled after being booed at the same venue that less than 24 hours ago hosted his opponent, Tim Walz, who crushed it so hard that even Fox News had to stop their coverage due to his speech being so damn convincing that they feared their audience might be persuaded into voting for him and Kamala Harris. Even JD Vance couldn't help but slip up and concede that Harris and Walz are better for working Americans than he and Trump.
Now, a lot of Democrats want to attack Republicans as being anti-union, and sometimes the shoe fits.
Actually, the shoe always fits. Trump and Vance want to dismantle unions, give tax breaks to billionaires, and keep workers' wages stagnant. Not to mention, Trump killed more jobs than any president since Herbert Hoover. So there you have it. JD Vance is the gift that keeps on giving to the Harris-Walz campaign, and I can only imagine he'll dig Trump's hole deeper when he eventually debates Tim Walz in October. P.S. Tonight, Harris and Walz will give their first joint interview on CNN, where I'm sure they'll deliver like they always do, no matter how slanted or biased the questions are. We know how that network can be sometimes. 69 days out until the election, and things are headed in the right direction. Blue Tsunami, here we come. Thank you guys for listening to today's episode of the Gen Z Perspective. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the show and give us a 5-star review on Apple, because as you can see, the MAGA lunatics have bombarded the podcast with 0-star reviews. I think we're worth a little more than that, but I also think it shows you how terrified they are of our generation. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time on the Gen Z Perspective. The Gen Z Perspective's theme song was created and produced by Pokari.